Okay, YouTube version of my trivia. Here we go. Let's jump right in. Rules, same as ever. 2 rounds of 20 questions. You're going to mark your own sheets. No cell phones or Googling. Category 1. In the news. 5 things that have happened since last week. First question. What former U.S. state governor this week released a scathing 8-minute-long video condemning Donald Trump and his enablers, invoking memories of his childhood in a country nearly destroyed after the failure of democracy? Question 2. Jeopardy has announced that the show will be hosted by a series of guest hosts until a permanent replacement for Alex Trebek is chosen. Who will be the first of these guest hosts? Guest hosts. Question 3. It was announced this week that Sex and the City will be getting the reboot treatment as 10 new episodes will be aired on HBO Max. While 3 of the series regulars will be returning, the character Samantha will not. What actor portrays Samantha? Question 4. In other streaming news, what 2011 Matthew McConaughey film will be adapted into a Netflix series starring Manuel Garcia Rulfo in the McConaughey role? And their last in the news question, what world #1 professional tennis player was this week named the newest brand ambassador for Louis Vuitton? Okay, your next category is called movie sidekicks. So in this category, I'm going to give you the name of a movie sidekick, and you have to tell me the character that they are the sidekick for. So don't say the movie, say the character. Here's your first one, from 1986, Goose. So who is Goose the sidekick of? For? Sidekick to? I don't know which word is proper. Next question, from 2010, Hit Girl. Oops. Question 8, from 1971, Detective Buddy Rousseau. Question 9, from 1956, Passepartout. And your last question in this category, from 1977, Cletus Snowman Snow. Okay, your next category is called The Longest 4 Years. So by this time next week, Donald Trump will no longer be president. Let's take a look back at some of the notable moments from his first and only term in office. I wasn't going to say highlights because they're not. Here's your first question. In 2018, Donald Trump, when presented with a plan that would increase immigration for underrepresented countries, decried the plan, asking why they would want more people from shithole countries. From what country did he suggest they receive more immigrants? Question 12. In 2017, at a NATO summit in Brussels, Donald Trump shoved aside the leader of what European nation? Let's see, I'm doing it here. Question 13. One of the major campaign platforms of Trump was the border wall. Approximately how many miles of actual new wall has been built on the U.S.-Mexico border as opposed to just replacing existing barriers? Is it 550 or 500 miles? And as a side note, Mexico did not end up paying for any of it, of course. Question 14. Not to be outdone, Melania Trump sparked controversy when, on a visit to a children's shelter for immigrants separated from their parents, she wore a jacket with what message on the back? Question 15, last in this category. Perhaps appropriately, Donald Trump's presidency has been bookended by large far-right riots. While the riots recently have been centered in Washington, D.C., the initial riot took place in Charlottesville. In what U.S. state? Okay, your next category, last of round #1, is called the Battle of Los Angeles. Your first question, in what year were the riots inspired by the police beating of Rodney King and subsequent acquittal of the officers involved? A lot of riots in this round. This is not even the last question round. Question 17. The 2011 film Battle Los Angeles, about an alien invasion of modern-day LA, stars what one-time Batman movie villain actor? Question 18. While a series between the two New York Major League Baseball teams is known as the Subway Series, what is the series known as when the two Los Angeles baseball teams play one another? Question 19. The city of Los Angeles has seen many large-scale riots and movements of civil unrest. Another such riot occurred in August of 1965 after a confrontation between a drunk driver and his mother with police officers. In what LA neighborhood did this take place? Your last question in this category. What American rock band released the album The Battle of Los Angeles in 1999, which includes hit singles Guerrilla Radio and Sleep Now in the Fire? Okay, that's the end of round number one. Let's do some answers. So the U.S. state governor that released this video was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jeopardy! First guest host will be Ken Jennings, former contestant. The actor who plays Samantha is Kim Cattrall, so for some reason she's not coming back. The Matthew McConaughey film being adapted into a Netflix series is The Lincoln Lawyer. And the professional tennis player, the new brand ambassador for Louis Vuitton, is Naomi Osaka. Sidekick Scoots is the sidekick of Maverick in Top Gun. Hit Girl is the sidekick of Kick-Ass in the movie Kick-Ass, or Big Daddy. She is the sidekick for both at different times. Detective Buddy Rousseau is Popeye Doyle's partner in The French Connection. Passepartout is from Around the World in 80 Days, so he is Phineas Fogg's sidekick. And Cletus Snowman is the Bandit's sidekick in Smoking the Bandit. Trump, so he wanted more immigrants from Norway, as if people would leave Norway to go to the US. He shoved aside the leader of Montenegro in 2017. There have been approximately 50 miles of new wall built. And Melania Trump in 2018 wore a jacket that said, "I really don't care, do you?" So if you had that exactly, give yourself 2 points. If you have some version of "I don't care," give yourself 1 point. And 15, Charlottesville is in Virginia. Los Angeles, the Rodney King riots were in 1992. Battle Los Angeles stars Aaron Eckhart. When the two Los Angeles baseball teams play each other, it is known as the Freeway Series. And the 1965 riots were in the neighborhood of Watts. The band that released the Battle of Los Angeles album is Rage Against the Machine. Okay, moving on. Round number 2. Your first category is abrevs. So this is all about abbreviations. Here's your first question. What is the full formal name of the UK? And I mean the full name. Question 22. What does Drake's record label OVO stand for? Question 23. What does the term of endearment BAE stand for? BAE. Question 24. What does the fashion label DKNY stand for? And your last abbreviation. If you're playing video games and someone is AFK, what does that mean? Okay, your next category is world capitals. I am going to give you a world capital. You have to tell me what country it is the capital of. Here's your first one. Budapest. We have Phnom Penh, Quito, Amman, and your last one, N'Djamena. She's a toughie, I think. Although I know it, obviously. Next question, or next category is called Famous Canadians. What artist born in Mission, BC in 1985, meaning that she is surprisingly older than me, has a hit single called Call Me Maybe? Question 32. Oh, yeah, there's a clip. Okay, your question. What four-time MLB All-Star who grew up in Montreal hit the home run that essentially clinched the division for the Toronto Blue Jays in 2015? Question 33. Who is this Canadian actor from Vancouver pictured below, star of movies such as Terminator Dark Fate, Blade Runner 2049, and The Turning? Question 34. What prominent CEO has a Canadian mother and attended Queen's University for 2 years before transferring to the University of Pennsylvania? And your last question in this category. Henry Morgenthaler, born in Poland but migrating to Canada in 1950, was a concentration camp survivor, a jury nullifier, and perhaps best known for his work in what field? Okay, your last category in round number 2 is called Add a Letter. In this category, when you add a letter to the answer for the first clue, you will get the answer for the second clue. Please provide both answers. Your first one, add a letter to the middle of a number greater than 10 and get a word meaning parched. And when I say middle, it just means anywhere within the word, not necessarily the exact center. Okay, your next one. Add a letter to the middle of an NBA team and get an NFL team name. This would be the, team name, not like the city or whatever. Question 38. Add a letter to the end of a fruit and get an undersea treasure. Question 39. Add a letter to the middle of a small weasel-like creature and get a place where you might find farm animals. And your last clue in this category and round number 2, add a letter to the beginning of a word meaning prepared or having practiced and get a word meaning tension, often in a relationship. Okay, that's round number 2. Let's do the answers. The full formal name of the UK is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So you need that whole bit to get the answer. OVO stands for October's Very Own. Bay it means before anyone else. DKNY, that is Donna Karen, New York. And AFK, if someone goes AFK, that means they are away from their keyboard. Budapest is the capital of Hungary. Phnom Penh is the capital of Cambodia. Quito is the capital of Ecuador. Amman, Jordan, and N'Djamena is the capital of Chad. Canadians, the artist with the hit single Call Me Maybe, that's Carly Rae Jepsen. That player who hit that home run that we saw, that is Russell Martin. This actor her name is Mackenzie Davis. Prominent CEO who, as Canadian mother, went to Queens, that's Elon Musk. And Henry Morgenthaler was best known for his work in family planning or abortions. He's one of the first guys to do it in Canada. Add a letter to a number greater than 10. The number is 30, and a word meaning parched is thirsty. Add a letter to the middle of an NBA team name. We have the Pacers and the Packers. Add a letter to the end of pair and get pearl. Add a letter to the middle of a small weasel-like creature, that is sable and stable. And the last one, prepared or having practiced, that is trained, and tension in relationship is strained. Relationship is strained, or something like that. So that's round number 2. Let's go on to round number 3. Your first category is TV spin-offs. Who is the only character on Friends to receive the spin-off treatment? Next question. What sitcom had many spin-off TV shows including Mork and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley? And there's a couple other ones too. Question 43. The Lone Gunman, following a trio of computer hackers and counterculture enthusiasts, is a short-lived spin-off of what 1990s TV show? Question 44. What Doctor Who spin-off features Captain Jack Harkness, the immortal time traveler and one-time con man, and his band of alien hunting colleagues? And last question. Private Practice, starring Kate Walsh as Dr. Addison Montgomery, is a spin-off of what long-running hospital drama? Okay, your next category is timeline. So in this category, I will give you 5 events from ancient history, and you have to put them in the right chronological order from earliest to most recent. So basically, for the next 5 questions, just put one of these events in the proper order. Okay, here are your 5 events. The Babylonian Empire is founded by Hammurabi. Jimmu is named first emperor of Japan. The Jews flee Egypt, settling in Palestine. Cats are domesticated, and Rome is founded. So put these 5 events in the proper order. Okay, that takes care of 5 questions. Your next category is general knowledge, 5 random questions. Here's your first one. What does the word surplice mean? Is it a business term for the merger of 2 roles into one, a garment worn by priests, or a carriage adorned with decorative jewels and other expensive items, often for a monarch or dignitary? Question 52. What parliamentary riding does Justin Trudeau represent? Question 53. What international organization is this the logo for? Question 54. Through what Ontario city does the Speed River flow? And your last question in general knowledge, we have an audio clip. Okay, your question. What big artist from Kansas City was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 and was known for his rhythm and blues songs such as Shake, Rattle, and Roll? Which is what you just heard. Okay, let's move on to the 3-pointers. First 3-pointer. Who directed each of the first 3 films in the Alien movie franchise? 1 point for each. Question 57. What 3 Canadian provinces are represented by the flags below? 1 point for each. Question 58. Name any 3 of the 4 Maple Leafs who scored in their season opening win last night against Montreal. Question 59. In the Harry Potter universe, what are the 3 Deathly Hallows? Your last question of the night. Other than orange, name any 3 of the fruits that go into the original version of the 5 Alive fruit cocktail beverage. Okay, that's it for round number 3. Let's do some answers. TV spin-offs. Only character on Friends to receive a spin-off is Joey. It was called Joey. The sitcom that has many spin-offs, including Mork and Mindy, that is Happy Days. The Lone Gunman was a spin-off of The X-Files. The Doctor Who spin-off with Captain Jack Harkness, that's Torchwood. And Private Practice is a spin-off of Grey's Anatomy. Timeline, so the proper order for those 5 events were the domestication of cats, then the Babylonian Empire is founded, the Jews flee Egypt, Rome is founded, and Jimmu is named Emperor of Japan. So, however many of these you have in the right spot, that's how many points you get. Okay, general knowledge. Surplice is a garment worn by priests. That's what it looks like. Justin Trudeau represents Papineau. This is the symbol for the YWCA. And the Speed River flows through Guelph. And that song we heard, Shake, Rattle, Roll, is by the artist Big Joe Turner, believe it or not. Okay, 3 pointers. The first three Alien movies were directed by Ridley Scott, James Cameron, and David Fincher. These flags, the first one is BC, then we have New Brunswick, and this last one is Manitoba. The Maple Leafs who scored last night were William Nylander, who scored twice, John Tavares, Jimmy Vesey, and Morgan Riley. In Harry Potter universe, the Deathly Hallows are the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak. And your last question, the fruits in Five Alive along with orange are grapefruit, lemon, lime, and tangerine. So those are your answers. I hope you had fun. Good night.